that the House will label the vehicles of drivers who repeatedly break traffic laws. And now we will call on the Prime Minister of the government side.
Here, here.
Here.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Good evening to this. Good evening, Miss Adjudicators. Sorry for that mistake. Opposition side and government side. Today, the proposition is that this House will label the vehicles of drivers who repeatedly break traffic laws. When we label, we define label as mark. Any mark done in the chassis or engine number, and including the plate numbers front and back, or including also the side if possible. And then the vehicles of the drivers, we define vehicles as all vehicles, all kinds, from two-wheeled vehicles up. And drivers will include the one driving the car, and also including the operators. And repeatedly we will be strict, and we define this as 2 times or more. And break traffic laws, they are simply break traffic laws. Now, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Kiko Corpus is our DPM, and Daclag will be our government whip. Kiko Corpus will be in charge of the family and society, the advantage and disadvantage, and I will discuss about the drivers and operators. And these are the stakeholders, ladies and gentlemen. Now, imagine a world where people, specifically drivers, would obey the laws, and knowing that their precious vehicles will be labeled in the chassis, engine, or plate number, making them be ashamed of themselves because they break that law. And this debate or our legislation will only be limited here in the Philippines only. Now, in my legislation, when a driver violates a law, he will be caught by a traffic aid or the RTA. The RTA aid will mark and put a stamp on the plate number for minor breaking the law, when people violate or drivers violate the law, there will be participation of the people the participation of the civilians, and they would be having the civil arrest. And then also, when the civilians will catch that or would see that car is violating, or the driver is violating the law, he or she would have illegal evidence proving that car and the driver breaks the law. Now, my points are, we should be, addition to my legislation, we would be tough on crime, ladies and gentlemen. There will be zero tolerance. And when the driver, and also when the stickers that are placed in the plate number or chassis or engine number will be removed, or will be removed by themselves, and then the people in charge in the LTO or LTFRB will know that car is missing a stamp, because there will be a record that are done by the people who caught that car, specifically the plate number, that will be placed in the record. And then we should be strict this for road safety, ladies and gentlemen. Nowadays people break laws, even if they know the law, and also even the government officials break the law themselves. Now, we should be strict on the road safety and placing the label of the stamp. This is to make sure that the people who will violate the law will be known by many people, and also the drivers will be reminded, or their dignity would be damaged or scarred, because their cars have labels. Their precious cars, ladies and gentlemen, will have labels due to their misdeeds. And now, the breaking of traffic laws will have cause major road accidents and incidents like overspeeding. This breaking the law, breaking the speed limit over, for example, like for this road, this kind of road, there will be the limit of 20 kph. Now, if the drivers would violate or would exceed that limit, like he would go into 40 or 100 kph, I don't know, and then he will be caught, and then the car will be labeled. And also, major road accidents are caused by people, riders, at what I'm saying. And traffics, ladies and gentlemen, are also caused by people who violate the law. Now, when these people are caught and labeled as stamps, these people will know that they violate that law because they have stamps, and then they would probably, high probability that they would not do that again. And now also, this will give the idea of the operators that when they choose drivers, like jeepney drivers, they would be careful enough to choose the right driver that they will be hiring or needing, so that the vehicles will not be labeled and will not be, the dignity of the operator and maybe the car itself will be damaged. And addition to my legislation, these are some of the serious road violations. Drinking under the influence of alcohol will be one of the serious, and under the influence of drugs and multiple damages properties. These laws that will not only, the car will not only be labeled, but also it will take the driver's license. That's all. Thank you.
The speaker spoke for approximately 6 minutes and 53 seconds. 56 seconds. The House calls for the Leader of the Opposition, Mr. Jadon Medel, here.
Here.
Good evening, everybody here in the house. I am Jadon Medel, and I am the Leader of the Opposition. I will talk about the reputation that is affected by this subject, and we have Wayne as our Deputy Leader of the Opposition. We'll talk about monetary problems, and we have Christine, Olarita as our Opposition Whip. Now, first and foremost, we agree to their definition, but to their model, I don't think we agree so much, because our model is better. Now, how can I say that? Because I propose a new model. The police will take care of everything, okay? But it needs participation, of course, of the citizens. A specific amount will be paid depending on the damage done to whatever is the result of that law offense or anything. And the number of the police station and any information about the jeep will be placed there on the jeep, so that if that driver did break any law, then the passengers or anybody who saw that crime could directly tell the police in the police station what the driver has done. And so I say that their model is safe, but actually it is also as safe as ours, but ours doesn't affect the business and the reputation of the driver. So our security is better because it is still the same. I mean, what will ensure you that a simple sticker will give security to the passengers. I mean, it will also give security to the passengers if we put the information added on the jeep. I mean, the case could be taken to their hand and then be directly taken to the police station. Thus, security is the same. Although, our security is better because reputation of the driver and his business, in case he's a public driver, is not affected. Okay, I'll talk about reputation and then we'll talk about monetary problems. I have already said that. And Wayne will connect later on to what I will say right now. That if you put labels on the vehicles of those drivers, it will affect their reputation. Reputation in their work, especially because there are many public vehicle drivers. I mean, if their model is approved, then there will be security, but then again, I mean, let's put it like this. Here's the vehicle of the driver, and here's the passenger. Now, if their model is approved, now this is the passenger, he will see the label, and thus, he will think of only his own security, thus he will not ride on his vehicle. Thus, the people who will ride on his vehicle will be lessened and lessened. Thus, there will be his profit will be less than normal because less people ride on his vehicle, and so I will not talk about that anymore because Wayne will continue it later. But I do say that reputation in their works, and maybe we're talking about all vehicles here, so we're talking about any driver. Thus, if we put any label on their vehicles, especially for example, if it was only an accident, a president of a bank does something, then his car will have a label. Thus, his workers and any people in that company will see the label, and then they can easily conclude that that president is not a good president because he has no manners, because they can connect it from driving and doing his own work. He has no manners in driving, thus he has no manners in this. Thus, reputation is affected. And also in the family, reputation in the family, your family name, or whatever the face of that person is. I mean, who wants to ride in a car, in a private car that has a label, I broke a law. Now, I wouldn't feel good about that. I mean, I ride on this car and then all people will see that car that I rode on broke a law. Thus, family name is also affected. His reputation, maybe in school, maybe in other places. I mean, cars can go anywhere, right? Public places. So, more people will know what he has done. The information that are placed on that label. And also, we say that their model should not be approved because money is already enough to pay off the damage. That's why we have that list of how much one will pay if he has broken a law. For example, if I have driven a car and I banged into a building, I should pay about 5,000 pesos. I mean, the money is enough to pay off that damage. That's why we have that list. So, labels are not needed anymore. Because, again, I say that money already is enough to pay. And if you put a label, again, reputation is destroyed. Thank you very much. That's all.
Your proposition, the speaker spoke for approximately 6 minutes and 40 seconds.